A lovely evening and thank you for watching Times News. I am Elita Soko. First, the headlines. Malawi Electoral Commission launches by-elections to be held in 7 constituencies and 2 wards. High Court to determine whether or not to revoke Norman Chisale's bail on 15 March. And Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority maintains fuel pump prices. We have these and more to stay with us. Malawi Electoral Commission MEC has officially launched by-elections to be held in 7 constituencies and 2 wards, which fell vacant due to deaths and court notification of previous election results. MEC Chairperson Chifundo Kajale said the by-elections are significant to allow people have access to various developments. Meanwhile, the Commission has challenged political parties and aspiring candidates in the March 30 by-elections to desist from violent acts during the campaign period. MEC Commissioner Linda Hunje made the remarks at St. Anthony Teacher Development Center or TDC in Zomba during the launch of the by-election exercise at Zomba Jangalume constituency. Hunje said candidates should focus on issue-based campaign and exercise utmost maturity in accepting the election results, even if the results are not in their favor. She speaks to our reporter, Tiesa Munjeza.
Candidates still remain valid yesterday as they were yesterday today, in that they should maintain peace. After the by-elections, we still have our Malawi. There's no need to make enemies, so they should be civil. They should always ensure that the campaigns are idea-orientated, not personalities or attacking personalities. Would like to conduct these elections in a peaceful manner, and therefore they should assist us in doing so, because most of the followers follow what their leaders are doing.
In his remarks, Zomba District Commissioner Smart Gwedemola said the council will monitor adherence of COVID-19 preventive measures throughout the electoral process as part of tackling the further spread of COVID-19.
We need to make sure that we follow all the preventive measures. I know during this period there will be people going out for campaigning. So as they are campaigning, they should bear in mind that they need to follow all the preventive measures.
High Court Judge Sylvester Kalembela has adjourned to 15 March for a ruling on a plea by the state that Norman Chisale's bail should be revoked. The state made the plea after noting that Chisale was allegedly tampering with state witnesses in his attempted murder case. Kalembela said that the attempted murder case will continue on that day, regardless of the ruling. We have more in this report by Justin Nkweu.
During the hearing on Friday, state witness in the bail revocation case, Wellington Chimdzagazi, said his collogue analysis shows that there were 2 transactions between Chisale's phone number and another state witness, Moses Banda's number, who is yet to testify against Chisale. When Banda was called to testify against Chisale early this month, he did not show up at the court in time and his phone was out of reach. Chimdzagazi, who is in the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, measuring in phone extraction and data analysis at the National Police Headquarters, said the transactions between Chisale's number and Banda's number took place on 10 and 14 February this year. When defense lawyer Chance Gondwe wanted to find out who was initiating the conversations, the witness said he could not tell who was initiating the transactions and the nature of the transactions, whether call or SMS, until he refers to the original documents as he was using the summary of his analysis. The original documents he was referring to were rejected by the court after defense complained they were submitted late on Thursday around 4 p.m. and they should not be used in court but rather the summary. Speaking after the hearing, defense lawyer Gondwe said even though he is happy with the progress of the case, the state is lacking seriousness.
We were not told by the state that they would be saving us with those other documents. Surprisingly, they saved us yesterday through email. They never even called us to inform us that they have saved us with those documents. So we objected to to the use of those documents.
State Prosecutor Pirirani Masanjala said the rejection by the court to use original documents has not affected the witness in any way.
We would, of course, have been happier that the documents which we served on the party, on the defense yesterday, were also part of the evidence today and formed part of the evidence today.
Chisale is being tried on attempted murder after he allegedly shot a woman, Sigere Amani, last year in Blantyre.
There was drama in Lilongwe in the afternoon today when a Democratic Progressive Party DPP press conference ended abruptly after some people clad in party colors roughed up officials, forcing them to abandon the presser. The officials who called for the presser were party spokesperson Brown Pinganjira, National Organizing Secretary Jumwe Chipumbu, Administration Secretary Francis Mpepo, and Legal Counsel Charles Muhango. We have more in this report by Rebecca Jimjeka, but read by Audrey Kapalamula.
The incident happened at Crown Hotel in Lilongwe just after a few minutes into the press conference. Some unknown people dressed in DPP colors appeared in the room, forcing the officials to end the press conference while assaulting them physically.
And engineer.
Guys, meeting your time. Meeting your time.
Speaking after the incident, DPP spokesperson Brown Pinganjira said the violence was well organized, pointing fingers at people who were expelled from the party to be responsible for the malpractice.
Strange as it may sound, my colleagues were going to be with us only from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, because at 2 o'clock there was a scheduled meeting for the two parties, for the party to meet the people that we expelled, the people who went to court. So we invited them for a discussion at 2 o'clock. Probably some of the colleagues are pursuing that meeting. We don't know, since we have been on the run, as you saw the blows raining upon us.
According to Mpinganjira, the agenda of the presser was to speak on the issue of COVID-19 and ask Malawi Electoral Commission to put on hold the scheduled by-elections in 7 constituencies and 2 wards. DPP Legal Director Charles Mhango added that they will report the matter to police and to the party to map the way forward. The party's Administrative Secretary Francis Mpepo sustained injuries after the assault.
The Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority, MERA, has maintained fuel pump prices upon observing recent trends in the world petroleum product prices. The maintenance has also come about due to changes in other macroeconomic fundamentals on the local market and their impact on energy prices. In a statement issued on Friday and signed by the board's chairperson, Leonard Jikaja, the board considered the economic negative impact by coronavirus or COVID-19 on consumers. We have more in this report.
In its statement, the board considered the economic negative impact the COVID pandemic has on consumer spending power and how higher fuel prices would exacerbate the situation. The board has maintained petrol at 834 kwacha 60 tambala, diesel at 826 kwacha 40 tambala, and paraffin at 613 kwacha 20 tambala. MERA has since announced that it will continue observing the trends and conduct monthly reviews of fuel prices using the automatic pricing mechanism. One of the country's economists, Bechani Chelani, said while the move was expected, it has come at the right time, arguing prices of commodities will not go up. Chelani said it is good because it means Malawians can go ahead with their normal budgets, arguing that it would have been worrisome if fuel prices went up, because that would have triggered prices of commodities to go up as well.
Malawi Law Society President Burton Mhango believes delivery of justice will improve in the country once construction of their new office buildings has been completed. Mhango made the remarks after commissioning the construction works in Blantyre. He said currently they are facing a lot of challenges by operating in rented buildings. Mhango explains.
For over years, there have been leaderships that have thought it wise that the institution, as it grows, it needs to have enough sufficient facilities for it to discharge the duties that is mandated under the Act to promote the rule of law in Malawi and to advance the justice, to help the justice system in Malawi. So we are very, very excited that on this day we are officially commencing the building project of the Malawi Law Society Office Park. As you can see, the project is very big. The time frame, it might take some years, but we will be doing it in phases. So we hope that by the time it finishes, it may cost us to close to 2 billion Malawi kwacha. But as I said, it's a project that will be done in phases. A lot of challenges. We are housing ourselves in a rented premises. Because of that, we are unable to have enough human resource to host enough resources because we are limited in terms of rentals.
Oxfam has emphasized the need to intensify dissemination of COVID-19 messages to rural masses. Oxfam Deputy Director Elias Kozombwe said while there are a number of strategies to disseminate the messages, a lot has to be done to ensure that rural communities have access to the information. Odrega Palamula reports.
Kozombwe made the call when his organization handed over COVID-19 prevention materials, including megaphones and bicycles to Njewa and Chitedze health centers. He said the project has set aside 30 million kwacha with support from European Union, civil protection and humanitarian aid.
The people or communities staying around these health centers will first of all receive awareness messages, and they also have health services which can attend to in cases of COVID-19, they can be attended to.
Chairperson of Lilongwe District Council, Luciano Botman, said the materials are very crucial as they will help communities to prevent COVID-19 and receive messages easily.
We are grateful for this from Oxfam. Indeed, it is very crucial for us people in the rural areas to use all the necessary reports from the health workers. So this Oxfam has helped us to reach rural areas with messages from people who are using these gifts from Oxfam.
The project intends to reach out with the materials to 3 health centers, 45 primary schools, 12 secondary schools and markets to prevent the spread of the pandemic.
This is Times News. We'll be back with more shortly.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate.
1, wake up, wake up. 2, brush up, brush up. 3, smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea.
Do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate and give yourself a future to smile about.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Do your gums hurt?
Yeah.
Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile?
All that in one toothpaste?
Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums.
Ah, Colgate Herbal.
Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
The future is arriving. Uncolo.com Courier. Opening on 22nd February 2021 in Blantyre, Lilongwe and Mzuzu.
Welcome back. As a way of improving healthcare services, some concerned citizens on Wednesday donated assorted medical equipment to Cholo District Hospital worth over 4 million kwacha. Thomas Kajere has more in this report.
Fighting any pandemic requires collective efforts. Since President Lazarus Chakwera called upon Malawians to come in and help in the fight against COVID-19, well-wishers have been coming forth. This time, concerned citizens of Cholo have done their part by providing the medical equipment. Chairperson of the grouping, Dr. Andrew Likaka, said they came up with the gesture as part of joining the fight against COVID-19 in the country. He said they created a group which was joined by many well-wishers in the country as well as Malawians abroad. Likaka said through contributions they managed to buy equipment like oxygen concentrators, realizing that one day it might be them or their relatives who might need medical assistance at the facility.
In Cholo, there are so many people, or businessmen, private, professionals. So they set up a WhatsApp group and organized themselves. Let's come out with contributions. And working with the council, they've raised more than 8 million. And looking at the agent need for equipment, they organized and we've managed to order oxygen concentrators as well as patient monitors and pulse oximeters, costing about 4.6 million. And I must indicate that these are of high quality.
Director of Health and Social Services for Cholo District, Dr. Arnold Jumbe, thanked for the donation, saying it will help a lot, especially those in the COVID-19 care center.
We are very happy that we have received these gadgets, especially that they will go a long way to take care of our patients in the emergency treatment unit, where we're taking care of our COVID patients. Every time you want to get vital signs, you don't need to go to the patient and touch the patient, but just putting up a monitor, you just look at the monitor and you see how the patient is faring.
Meanwhile, Cholo District Commissioner Douglas Mofadi commended the group for their support, saying they have shown their patriotism.
Authorities at Nkoma Hospital in Lilongwe have disclosed plans to have an oxygen plant by the end of this year. Medical Director for Nkoma Hospital, Salvador de la Torre, said once the plan materializes, the hospital shall provide free oxygen to other hospitals for a period of 2 years. He made the remarks when a grouping called Descendants of Nkoma donated 3 oxygen cylinders to the hospital. Kumbo Kaliwo has a report read by Audrey Kabalamula.
Tori said well-wishers from Australia have donated an oxygen plant which arrived in the country in October this year. He added that amid COVID-19 pandemic, the hospital is planning to have an isolation center once resources are identified.
It is already confirmed, and we should have this plan and providing oxygen and bottling oxygen probably in about 12 months from now. So this is going to be a fantastic addition to the needs during the COVID times that we're facing.
A member of Nkoma Descendants, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ezenho Nkaka, said the donation was to respond to the need for medical supplies at the hospital.
When we heard that there was need for some pieces of equipment and medical supplies to be made or lacking at the hospital, and this request came from the General Secretary of Nkoma Synod, we discussed amongst ourselves as descendants of Nkoma to say we could do something. We've handed over many more pieces of equipment than just the cylinders, but this was symbolic. It was the request that came from the General Secretary of Nkoma Synod that moved us into action.
Nkoma Hospital attends to over 450,000 people per year.
In international news, President Joe Biden's administration has pledged to improve the delivery of COVID-19 vaccines in the U.S. This week, the first federally supported mass vaccination sites opened in California. VOA's Matt Dibble reports.
Cars pour into Oakland, California's sports arena parking lot this week. Not for a baseball game, but for COVID-19 vaccinations. The Oakland location and another in Los Angeles are the first mass vaccination sites in the nation to be supplied and staffed by the U.S. federal government as part of President Biden's 100 Sites in 100 Days initiative.
Our goal is to vaccinate up to 6,000 per day. We have over 600 employees who are working at this location, and they're working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day to be able to reach as many people as possible.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, is overseeing operations at the new sites in partnership with a wide array of state and local agencies and the military. The sites were erected in little over a week, signaling a new urgency in the U.S. response to the disease. The Trump administration, which pushed hard to approve vaccines for emergency use, had acknowledged struggles with vaccine supply and distribution, which has been handled by states. Biden has sought more central coordination and federal involvement.
We've now purchased enough vaccine supply to vaccinate all Americans. And now we're working to get those vaccines into the arms of millions of people.
California, the most populous state, also has the most COVID-19 deaths. It has struggled to maintain a steady supply of vaccines. Last week, a number of inoculation sites were forced to temporarily close because of vaccine shortages. Officials explained that the new FEMA sites are not competing with states, but adding a new source of doses.
Given the challenges and the demand for supply that exists, everywhere in all the communities, that we're additive to that and not taking away.
Both California locations were chosen for their proximity to the African American and Latino communities most impacted by the disease. The initiative will also be reaching directly into these communities.
This is our mobile emergency response support units that can go into the communities hardest hit to be able to get vaccine to those who cannot get here.
Similar mass sites are planned to open in Texas and New York in coming weeks. Matt Dibble for VOA News, Oakland, California.
And that's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines again. Malawi Electoral Commission launches by-elections to be held in 7 constituencies and 2 wards. High Court to determine whether or not to revoke Norman Chisale's bail on 15 March. And Malawi Energy Regulatory Authority maintains fuel pump prices. You've been with me, Elita Sokon. You can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw or by liking our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, and you can also follow us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Please stay safe.